Hey Kevin, good morning. I'm out here at 522 Camway. Just wanted to start in the street. That's the entry way down there, and there is no outlet. So really, besides people that live down here, you're not gonna have any through traffic. But it is really quiet here. And this is probably the best location of any of the homes that we've looked at as far as being close to Wrightsville Beach. You're close to the university. There's a great neighborhood, Autumn Hall, that's just a couple minutes away, that's full of $1 million homes. And this one, really I would think if all the cosmetic stuff was done, it would be, a $600,000 home pretty easily. It's got a lot of charm. The roof was last done in 2023. Same thing with the HVAC. So you shouldn't have to worry about either of those. And then the hot water heater was done in 2019. Really, as far as the exterior of the home, it looks pretty good. You can probably see there on that fascia board. Got some carpenter bead going into there, so it needs a new fascia board up there. You got the driveway off to the side there. But yeah, let's go inside. So kind of a cool entry. These doors need a little bit of paint. They're a little bit faded. But as you enter, you do enter directly kind of into this fireplace here. You got tile floor here. And in this tile, it's functional, but it could probably be redone. It's not all completely level, which I'm sure you can see. Yeah, as you kind of come in, this is the main living room area. You got bedrooms off that way. And the kitchen, dining room, and garage are gonna be off this wing. So we'll start over here. Dining room looks pretty good. Painting here looks fairly good. There's just one little spot I see. But the floors look good in this house. There's a couple of little spots. Like I'll show you once we get into the kitchen here. Under that refrigerator, they've had a little bit of leakage, a little water damage there at some point. The kitchen's cute. At least they got nice granite. Big sink. View of the backyard. Got a Camway refrigerator, Samsung microwave, and a LG stove. Got kind of enough room over here for a little eat-in kitchen area. You got the washer and dryer right off of the kitchen. There's the hot water heater. Now I've had a couple of this light here is taped shut, so I'm not sure. There's actually no fixture there. That could be what's going on with that. But the bathrooms, I had trouble getting the lights to come on, so I'm not sure if it's just a breaker that's tripped or what's going on. So the garage looks pretty good. I mean, you got a little bit of drywall tape here, coming up. Again, drywall tape right there that they've kind of done a repair on. And right there, again, they've done some sanding and drywall repair. I'm sure this garage, needs some paint. You can see kind of a little scuffed up. Oh, I did want to show you this. That needs a little bit of repair right there. The backyard on this home's incredible. We'll pop out there in a second. Go check out the bedrooms. Little linen closet here. First bathroom's off to the left. This one I was having trouble with the lights. So they do have a nice piece of granite here. You know, this mirror's a little dated. You know, you got some kind of coming apart there on that mirror. See the old wallpaper behind the toilet. But yeah, definitely has some cool features. It's got some charm in here. You know, this bathroom could be redone. Old steel tub. You don't see those much anymore. And you got storage on this side. And tile floor in here looks pretty good. I'm not sure if it would, you know, need to be redone. It's kind of just a taste thing. And into first bedroom. You got some scuffs on the wall there. Gonna need a little bit of paint. No, light's not putting out much. View of the front yard. A little bit of, you know, floors that could be refinished right there. Like that threshold. You know, these floors don't feel like they're sloping all over the place. It feels like it's a really solid house. You know, it's mostly cosmetic stuff. So this is the primary here. You know, this was built in '78, so you don't get the big walk-in closets like the new homes. And then into the master bath. So they've done some renovations in here. You know, it might not be to taste, but it's pretty cute. And this is another bathroom. I could not get the lights to turn on in here, so I don't know if it's just a breaker issue or what's going on. But you got 3 LED can lights in there. And the finishes do look pretty good. You know, whoever did the contracting, they did a good job on the bathroom. And then we'll go to the third bedroom. This one's gonna be the smallest of the 3. Be a good home office. You got tons of natural light in this room. Show you how close you are to the neighbors. Got some azaleas right outside. Yeah, I think paint and refinishing can go a long way on this property. You know, in here, you do got that textured ceiling. You can see that's where the drywall was put together. You know, and I see this all the time on homes. It could be a $300,000 or $1 million home, and you know, it'll have that drywall tape coming undone and causes that. Yeah, and there's another little spot on the floor that could probably use refinishing. And while I'm here in the main area, you can see these windows. You know, I don't know if it's the sills that are broken or if they're just dirty, but you know, they're a little fogged up looking. Yeah, those sills are definitely out because it looks like water dripping down in between. But there's probably 3 inches between the first pane and the second pane there. And to me, the best thing about these windows is you have a big overhang, so you're not worried about any water intrusion really coming in there. Not sure if you can see that kind of dew that had dripped down, but Doesn't look like rain. All right, to the sunroom. Again, you can see that window there. I can't tell if it's just dust or dirt, but it needs a cleaning. So, beautiful tile floor in here. I actually really like the tile. They have these little strings on the outside of the windows. I'm not really sure what for. And this one's completely open, so it's missing a pane here. Actually, it just slid down. There it is. Yep. So that would need a little bit of repair to stay up. But you got two doors here. You got one on this side, kind of leads out to the HVAC. Again, that's 2023. Bricks here need a little bit of repointing. Starting to come apart a little bit. But really cute landscaping. There's the entry to the garage. Got a big maple there. Dogwood. So they do have a bunch of, looks like bluestone laid down here. But that probably just needs to be redone and, laid a little bit more level. At least I would want to do that if I owned the property. You got a really nice backyard. You got some native trees back over here, some wax myrtles, dogwoods. Little gate right there. I saw this here in the yard. I'm curious if it's part of an irrigation system. Have that little part there too. The lot probably goes back another 25 or 30 foot to the fence there. A little bit more wild on this section here, but tons of backyard space. We'll see if we can't pop into this crawl space real quick. All right, got a vapor barrier. It looks really good under there compared to a lot of them I see. That wood looks good too. It looks new. It doesn't quite look like a 78. But yeah, that gives me some peace of mind for the crawl space. At least it's encapsulated and all the wood looks fresh. So there is a well over here for irrigation. I'm just gonna pop out this gate over here and show you this side of the property. Not quite sure what this is growing here. Got a little gate, side entrance, trash can area. Yeah, overall, Kevin, this one's really clean. I know we've looked at a lot worse. So So you can kind of get an idea of how far that fence goes back from here. It is a big lot. The fence does have a couple little pieces that need to be repaired. And then the only other thing I saw, and this is a little thing, easy fix, is that this is a little tight through here. These bushes need to be trimmed back a little bit more so you can use that walkway fully. And this one piece of concrete settled maybe about 3/4 of an inch lower than the other one. Yeah, Kevin, overall, very nice property. I don't have too much negative to say about this one. It seems to be priced right as well, but I'll run some comps for you and let you know what I think. Awesome. Talk to you soon. Thank you.